Hey guys, Paradoxio here. Welcome back to a brand new video, everybody. In today's video, I am going to be showing you guys how we can manipulate a JSON file using a couple scripts in Python. Now, if you don't know what JSON is a file format for storing objects and data and values and all kinds of stuff. And it actually stands for JavaScript Object Notation. And don't let that name confuse you because JSON is now compatible with just about any coding language out there, not just for JavaScript now. And yeah, so I'm going to be showing you guys how you can manipulate the JSON file using a few scripts I'm going to be going over today. But anyways, the first thing we want to do is, inside our Python file, we need to import JSON to our file here. Now, JSON is already a pre-installed module for Python, so you don't need to import any custom modules at all. And this is all we really need for today's video. And we also obviously need a JSON file to work with, so I'm going to create one inside my project folder. And I'm just going to name it data.json, JSON. And inside our file, we want to add a set of curly braces, and then we can exit the JSON file because we no longer need to add anything in it ourselves. After we add those curly braces, the program can do the rest of the work for us. Now, how we can actually access the file via the Py file is just the same way we access any other file, basically. And to do that, you just type in with open, and then the name of our file, so data.json, and then we want to open it in read mode. And then we can label it as f, and then we can define a variable, so we can call it data, and then we can set it equal to json.load f. Now, of course, there's nothing in our JSON file, so if I were to just print data, it will return none, or just these sets of curly braces. Now, let's say we want to save something to our JSON file. Well, we can do two different ways to save data to our JSON file. We can create a dictionary in Python and save it that way, or we can use this other method that I find a little bit easier. However, most people might find it a little more tricky because they can't really view it visually like you can with a dictionary. So I'm going to create a new variable here called myData. I want to set it equal to a set of curly braces, and then this is the start of a Python dict data type or dictionary. And inside here, I'm going to put in employees, like that. I want to set it equal to another set of curly braces. This is known as nesting. And inside here, I'm actually going to put in a person's name, so John Doe for an example. And then that's going to be set to curly braces as well, so we're nesting again. And inside here we can put age, and this can be an integer or a float. This can be false or true, so bools. And this can be strings, anything really. I think maybe even other objects, but I'm not really sure on that one. But the rest of the things I do know for sure we can put in here. And yep, so for age, I'm going to put 32, and then actually we need to put a comma here so we can add more stuff inside John Doe's dictionary. And here we can put gender, so yeah, and then make him a male. Whoops, I forgot to add the comma. And then for occupation, we can make him a electrical engineer. So we now have a dictionary set up. Now we want to add it to our JSON file. Well, what we can do there is we can just type in with open, data.json, and we need to open up in writing mode instead of read mode this time. And now we need to type in json.dump, and we need to pass in the dictionary's variable, and then we need to pass in the label of our files, so -f. And then this is optional, however, it makes things look a lot better. So indentation, we are going to add in 4. And I'm going to drag this over here so we can actually see it. So if I go ahead and run this script, as you can see, it writes all of our data inside of this JSON file. Of course, if I were to put in 2, it just makes it indented like that. And if actually I have no indentation, it looks like that. And if I actually leave it like this, I think it just limits to 1 line. Yep. So indentation just makes it look a little bit better. I mean, it's totally optional. It's just whatever you're comfortable with. I like 4. You might like 2. You might like 0. Or heck, you might even just want it to 1 line. But most people like myself prefer 4. Just looks better that way. But anyways, as you can see, we successfully added our employees dictionary to our JSON file. And of course, if you wanted to add another person, all you need to do is just put a comma right here on the person's dictionary and indent, and then we can go ahead and copy our next person. So this one can be Jane Doe, 27, female, and let's make her also a electrical engineer. Now, with that being said, actually, wait a minute. I think we need something. Okay, that's better. That looked weird for a minute. But anyways, if I go ahead and run this, as you can see, it adds her to our JSON file as well. Now, honestly, you might not really use this to store people's data. JSON files are more of just saving temporary values that can be used in an application or game. A pretty good example of a game that uses a lot of JSON files is Minecraft. In case you didn't know, if you search through your Minecraft's texture pack files or just their game files in general, you'll see a lot of JSON files, and inside of them could be their block states or their graphical options, UI options, all kinds of stuff, really. So that's a pretty good example on a game or application that uses a lot of JSON files. But yeah, so let's look at this in a more object-oriented way. So I'm going to create a class here, and it's going to be called new user. And I'm going to actually make this an object, so self, and I'm going to give it a name, which is going to be a string, a age, which is going to be an integer, a gender, which is going to be a string as well, and an occupation, which is going to be a string as well. And of course, we need to actually define all of these as self. So self.name is equal to name. Self.age is equal to age. And self.gender is equal to gender. And self.occupation is equal to occupation. And we can also open our JSON file as in read mode inside this init object as well. So you can just type it with open data.json, open it in read mode, it was F, or whoops, that's weird, I don't know why I did that, but we can now type in self.users is going to be okay, yeah, so self.users is going to be equal to json.load f, I'm not sure. I was thinking how this would look inside the JSON file itself. But I think we'll be fine, guys. Yeah, we should be fine. All good. Actually, let's give it an ID as well. So ID is going to be ID string. The ID is actually going to be a set of numbers. However, JSON is going to read it as actually no, we can make it an int. What am I talking about, guys? Sorry. Self.id is to ID. Alright, anyways, now we can go ahead and create a user here, or not a user, I'm sorry, we're going to create a save method. So def save, pass in cell, and then we could basically just... Alright, so we need to... So this is the other method I was talking about. So my first method of saving data to a JSON file was saving a dictionary to it. This is my other method, which I find a little bit easier, however, for people who are new to manipulate JSON files in Python. It might look a little confusing or hard to read, but I will explain it the best I can. So what we are going to do is we want to have the ID set to a dictionary, and then inside that person's ID is going to be their name, age, and gender and occupation. So what we are going to do is we are going to type in self.users and then self.id and then self.name and then actually wait a minute. Wait a second. I need this. There we go. And then self.users, self.id, self.name, or actually, we make this name is equal to self.name. Can't spell. And I want to copy this 3 more times, so. Alright, so now this one is going to age, gender, occupation, age, gender, occupation. Alright. Now, what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to... Actually, no, this is all we really need. Alright, so I'm going to create a main function here, so def main, and then call the main function. And inside our main function, I am going to basically create some inputs, so action 1 equal to input. What do you want to do? Create user. Load user. And I'm actually going to make this an integer object. So I'll need to type in int right here, because I'm just going to be taking in numbers. And then if action1 is equal to 1, pass valid action2 is equal to 2, pass, and else print invalid response. Now, in place of pass, we are actually going to do a few things here. So I'm going to create some more inputs, and yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay, so I'm going to create some inputs. Alright, so ID is equal to int. Oh. Alright, whatever. Actually, I want to change this to string. So the ID is going to be basically just 3 numbers, probably 001 and 002, 003, just so on and so forth. So I guess input, enter, ID. Alright, and then name is equal to input, enter, name, and then age is going to be it, input, enter age, and then gender is going to be input, enter gender, and then what was it? Occupation, that's what I had. Input, enter occupation. Alright, so far we are good. And then we need to actually create the new user, so new user is equal to alright, so new user is equal to new user. Forgot what the object was called for a minute. Then we're going to pass in ID, name, age, gender, and OCC for occupation. And then we are going to type in new user.save, just like that. And we're pretty much good. So if I go ahead and run this, and I actually need to remove that. So I'm going to create a new user. I'm going to enter the ID, so 001, John Doe, 32, male, electrical engineer, and okay, why didn't it save? Oh, that's right, we did not save it here, so we need to copy and paste that, put it in writing mode, JSON.dump, self.users, F, intention is going to be 4. There's a silly mistake there, so go 32, male, occupation, electrical engineer, and yep, so it loaded it in. Awesome. And that actually doesn't need to be there, but this set of curly braces here doesn't need to exist, but oh well. Anyways, so that's exactly what we wanted. Now, let's see if I can add on to it. Alright, so it might not allow me to add on, it might just replace this, but either way, it still shows you that we can edit the JSON file just by creating these scripts here. So Jane Doe, or whoops, let me restart that. 002, wait a minute, I'm an idiot. 1, 002, Jane Doe, 27, female, and then let's make her a biologist. And it did, so it actually loaded in another person. Sick. So what we did here is we added 2 employees to this data.json file, John Doe and Jane Doe, and as you can see, they are all tied to their own ID object, which is basically their number and order. So 001 is John Doe, 002 is Jane Doe, and then 003 can be some other person that you want to add. And this is all objects, or what VS Code calls it, modules. So yeah. And these are just names, and then the numbers and all kinds of stuff. So that's how we can manipulate JSON files in Python. That is just about it for this video. I hope this all helped you out, because I know JSON can be pretty confusing. But yeah, so if you all enjoyed, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Helps me out a ton. And I noticed we hit 250 subscribers recently, so I want to thank you guys for that. I appreciate it a lot. And yeah, if you happen to be stuck anywhere in this video, or you ran into any errors, or you just simply want to hang out with me and 170 other people, join my Discord server. The link will be down in the description. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.